Once upon a time, there was a girl who found that playing basketball and sports took her from being an average student to being an overachiever in studies, academics, sports, and extracurricular activities. And every day, she would dedicate at least 1 hour to movement, no matter what. And until one day, during her MBA, she came across the speech by Steve Jobs, which spoke about doing what you love, following your gut, and that the dots will only connect looking backwards. And that's when she knew that she wanted to be known for who she was, rather than what designation she had. And because of that, she quit her job, moved to Kerala for 3 years, and where she was learning, sleeping, eating, breathing, performing dance under her guru Daksha Sheth, and not only learned dance and music, but also learned yoga, Kalaripayattu, which is Kerala's martial art. And because of that, she got to represent India all across the world, representing culture, art, dance, and also learned about life, about work ethics, and about Sadhguru. Until one day, she moved back to Bombay and she discovered her love for teaching. And what a better way to do it than doing what she loved doing. And that's when she found Kinetic Living. And ever since that day, she wakes up with a purpose, knowing that she's going to help others achieve that same version of their kinetic life. What is kinetic? It means movement. It means to be dynamic, to be mobile. On the other hand, let's look at some stats of our country here. India is one of the diabetes capital. It is the diabetes capital of the world with 72.9 million people affected. And out of that, 1 in 4 is under 25 who's affected by type 2 diabetes. And we saw 62.5 million deaths due to cardiovascular disorders in the year 2016. Before we move ahead and I make the point of this talk, I want you to do a breathing exercise with me. So let's sit slightly straight in our chairs, roll our shoulders back and down, and keep your hands on the ribs or on the belly. And breathe in with me, inhale, and breathe out from the mouth like you're blowing a candle. Are you doing this with me? And inhale, and exhale, and as you exhale, think of drawing the navel towards the spine. And try to sit like this, relaxed but still active throughout the next 18 minutes. At least try to. Have you heard people say, I don't need to exercise because I'm thin? Have you heard people say, I need to lose weight to look good at my wedding? But let me tell you what happens when you actually work out. You're actually getting weaker. You're losing electrolytes. You're losing energy. But what happens when you have the right nutrition, the appropriate rest, and the recovery? That is when the body overcompensates for the load that it is subjected to. And that's the supercompensation model. The body will always adapt and overcompensate for that. And that's how we become stronger, fitter, and faster, depending on the nature of the load that it's subjected to. That's why no pain, no gain is a real life experience. And I urge you to experience that, because only if you push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone in the gym or on the sports field is when that skill and where that grit is going to transfer in your real life. But let's look at the motivation stats of our country, where 53% people join the gym to avoid health risks, and 33% also do that to combat stress. But out of that, 53 people don't find the discipline to continue with that journey. And in a study conducted by Credit Donkey, 80% of the people quit the gym in 5 months in the year 2012. So clearly, knowing the right thing to do and doing the right thing to do is very different in real life. Staying kinetic has really helped me deal with the darkest phases of my life, be it feeling helpless as a teenager when my family was going through severe financial crisis, or be it reversing my own PCOD, which is polycystic ovaries disorder, which I suffered post my MBA, or be it a knee injury that I suffered when I was a dancer. If you ask me, what is my goal through mind and body, it is to push myself out of that comfort zone a little bit, to do my best, to dig into my potential in all the areas of my life. And in fitness, I have a multidisciplinary approach, whether it is lifting more than my body weight, or it is lengthening and twisting like a yogi, or it is trying to run a half marathon under 2 hours. In my career, I've gone from being a media professional in advertising to being a professional dancer, to being a personal trainer in 2012, and to having a team with me right now as part of Kinetic Living. And up until recently, host of my very own podcast. In my personal life, I want to be a better leader. I want to be more mindful. I want to be a caring person. And that's why my approach is that of integration. The same way you need proteins, carbs, and fats for a balanced nutrition, the same way you need workout disciplines of different nature, depending on your needs, to make you more strong and injury-free, flexible, and in other words, energy efficient. Your body needs to be kinetic. And that's where the words kinetic living come from my kinetic life. And if you see the diagram, energy efficiency is in the center, and all the areas and the skills are around it. That's what feeds into you making your own version of your kinetic life. If we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he is a very popular psychologist, and this is a very popular psychology theory. And what if I tell you to achieve those needs, you will do it with flying colors if you are physically more active through physical movement. And that's why everyone's needs are different, and that's why your workout and your kinetic life has to be your own version, depending not only on your schedule, your injuries, but also your personality. And that's why in your kinetic life, you need to ask the right kind of questions, because there is no right answer. And the answer is not important to anyone else but you. Have you asked yourself which workout is better for your temperament than which is best to burn calories? Have you asked yourself, are you sitting in the right posture right now? Yeah, I saw everyone just sit up straight. But have you asked yourself that are you in the ideal posture than how much weight you can lift as compared to the person next to you? Have you asked yourself, how can you become mentally and physically stronger as compared to just looking good in the mirror? And that's where I come to fitness versus aesthetic goals. If you pursue a performance goal like running a timed 10K or mastering a pull-up, you're bound to be more motivated and stick to your goals and make it a long-lasting journey. And good looks will be a side effect. And that's how you maximize your personal fitness quotient. It's your present you versus your future you. And now you can maximize all your strength, endurance, flexibility. And in order to do that, in my philosophy, I have used a combination of athletics and mind and body disciplines, starting from Pilates, yoga, weight training, kettlebells. And for those of you who don't know kettlebells, I'm just showing the video. And this really helps you develop your explosive strength as an athlete, but also keeps you injury-free in many, many day-to-day activities. And it also burns a hell lot of calories, and in shortest amount of time. And it's not just enough to know what to do, but how to do it. And this is where the crux of your change lies. Because principles of efficient movement are very necessary, which is, as I said, keeping your shoulders back and down, keeping your abs engaged, trying to engage your glute muscles at will while you're running. All those things will make you more aware, not only from the physical, just the physical, but you're slowly towards your self. You're constantly thinking about form and technique and how you're breathing. From the first rep to the last rep, because in the last rep is when you need it the most, because that's when your awareness is at its weakest. And that skill is going to help you translate in your real life. Tell me how many of you can think about talking straight or being nice when you're angry, or when you're irritated, or when you're sleep deprived. But that is when you need the maximum awareness to be and do the right thing, and to do and go ahead of those difficulties. I just want to show you a couple of videos from the way we coach, just so that you know what I'm talking about when it comes to awareness.
Yeah, back straight and up. Yeah. Try to square the shoulders and make a fist with that other hand. Yeah, Swati's elbow a little bit more inwards and neck slightly looking more in front. Anirban, control the hips.
And each one of these people are now correcting their own posture by themselves, and they are slowly becoming more aware of themselves. And how many of you can relate to this when it comes to junk food eating? This is purely for humor, but it is very, very true. And as you see that the benefits from being physically active will start having a ripple effect in your daily life, you start asking questions like, is the food that you're eating helping you be a better person and a better performer as to feeling sluggish and slow? You start looking at food as fuel and not as fear. You start asking yourself questions like, what kind of foods am I craving when I'm moody? What kind of sleep pattern is affecting depending on the food that I'm eating? You start asking questions like, why do I pop a pill the moment I feel I have a cold or when I'm getting acidity? And that's how you maximize from your physical awareness to your self-awareness, to connect with your own self. And that's why kinetic living, or finding your kinetic life, will help you transform your mind through your body. And why the body? Because body is something tangible. You can relate to it. It is your vehicle to experience this life. And like a machine, you need to service it, you need to maintain it, you need to upgrade it. And like a music instrument, you need to tune it. And these are some of the really fun but really valuable moments that you will have while finding your kinetic life. And I just want to share them from my life. Do these pictures show anything about having the drudgery of going to the gym every day? Or does this make you feel like you want to belong somewhere? Does this make you feel like these people feel a sense of achievement? Are they safe? Are they secure? Do they feel loved? Do they find people? Do they find bonds? Fitness is not just boring. It's not monotonous. If you're keen to do it, there is always will be an option. This philosophy does not impose you to eat in a certain way, eat dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, nothing, because it is up to you. It recognizes that every person is different. But it is to find the simple balance between decadence and discipline, but with complete awareness. With awareness, you will seek out the tools, whether it's movement, nutrition, or self-reflection, to find the energy to do the things you love. Because you will have the energy to do it. You'll have the stamina to do it, and the awareness to do it. And that will help you eventually maximize your happiness quotient, because you will be a happier person doing the things you love. And not necessarily, it does not mean that you have to have a ripped body or six-pack abs. And I want to share this couple of testimonials because it will show you their stories from real life about how people deal with when they are low on motivation. And this person has been with me for 3 years, and he has found his own version. And this is just one case where he was traveling and had a motivation crash and had zero willingness to come and work out. And that's how I dealt with it. I just texted him back saying, no, 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 you are not skipping out. And even if you are late, you're coming here and you're doing a small workout just as much as you can. And this person is writing these words without me even telling him, because he has found his own version. And he says you can sometimes out squat, out plank, out swing, and out press your problems just for a little bit. But he felt going back 100 times better. This is someone who was already injured and his injury relapsed in my class. And all I wrote to him was, it is a big thing in your head. Try not to make it that way. Accept that we have an injury and let's work about how we can strengthen. It's all about the mindset. And I know it's hard. I have been there. But all you need is patience with your own body. And he replied to me saying, I was disappointed with myself, but the moment I saw your concern, I calmed down. While creating your kinetic life, make sure that strength is earned and not demanded. Bonds are forged, not challenged. Where technique is not boring, it's valuable. Where love and care for other people and yourself is genuine and not just for the sake of it. Where fear and calories are burnt and not shamed. Because this human connection is going to make your life more kinetic. Not supplements, not fat loss, not crash dieting. And when you find your kinetic life, you will have the energy and the awareness to do well in all the areas of your life. To give your best even on a bad day, because it doesn't matter that you just gave 50% on your bad day, but the point is that you showed up and you didn't give up. And before I end my today's talk, I want to just end it from an excerpt from my poem that I wrote, which was called Heart Held High. Your hope urges someone to hope, because hope gives birth to hope. Don't get scared just yet, because you can shake that dullness with that laughing thunder, because you can break the rules and discover what is down and under. I try to do the things with my heart held high. I try to do the things I would do if today would be the day I die. And this is another poem that I have written while running, and how I choose running as a way to come to terms with my own life and with my own hardships and do better at them. As I trace my miles for minutes, senses alert, I move inwards. My heart and feet thump in unison. I feel at rest, but at the same moment, I feel recharged. To set the rhythm again, to thump again. Thank you.